Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I'll be giving you the absolute worst advice for War Thunder that the entire War Thunder community has to offer. You heard me right, this video has all of the worst advice for playing War Thunder that the community could give after I asked specifically to be given bad War Thunder advice in a recent War Thunder community post that I ran on my YouTube. Because these are all silly tips rather than just doing 10 tips like in my previous video when I asked the community for helpful tips, I'll do a whole lot more in this video, largely because there's no need to elaborate on these like there may have been in my previous video. Also, a huge thank you to all who participated, as it means the world to me. That said, of course, subscriptions are the secret sauce to my Tanken burger, take that as you will, so each sub is greatly appreciated. Either way, let's get into the video. So to start, I've got Jonathan Hardman saying, "Don't worry about capping objectives, your team will relentlessly push, just support them." I totally agree. Just go ahead and kill everyone that you see. Don't worry about objectives because your team is always going to be reliable. Second, Potato Bot. Potato Bot? 77. For air battles, always go for the first person you see. Always go head on and ram your opponents. Turn fighting always works. Never climb. Tons of terrible advice, or rather great advice, I mean to say, in this. Definitely follow all of them. Potato Bot 77. Great job. Next up, we have user kiroba. If you're brand new to the game, you should start with France. They should have some of the best early game tanks like the AMC 34YR. Let me tell you guys, early game France is awful. Geez, they are really bad. But in all seriousness, late game France, and I'll be doing a guide on the French tech tree, ground tech tree soon enough. They are amazing, one of my favorite tech trees in game. Unironically, I love late game France. Next up, we have Daniel Harrison saying, "Take everything that Gaijin says as the gospel truth." Not really too much to be said there, but yeah, and so far as worst advice is concerned, this is probably up there with the worst of them. Next, we have Chandra Defiant coming back. He was in my previous video, so thank you, Chandra. Your teammates are always very polite, and you can definitely rely on them to back you up if you get into a bad situation. Couldn't be said better. That is the best worst advice because teammates are always reliable, especially those that buy premium tanks. Always hang out with high-tier premium buyers because they definitely care about your well-being. Next, we have paulstool review saying, "If you like modern tanks, just buy some modern premium tanks and use them to fill in your tech tree around that BR. You'll learn the game as you go." Of course, the best players are those that just kind of skip to the front of the line, get their fast pass, so to speak, with a premium vehicle, and then they just kind of learn as they go. They're definitely the best players and the ones who don't quit prematurely after spending $60. Next up, we have Brandon Miller saying, "Higher penning rounds are always better, like APCR or Heat." Of course, Heat, especially in high tiers, that's why Gaijin gave them to you first. That's why you have to start with Heat shells rather than just having APF SDS like they used to have. Heat shells give you 480 millimeters of armor pen. They're definitely looking out for your best interests. Next up, we have Kobe Mobile saying, "Don't worry, the grind is fast." I can tell you this, after 10 years of playing the game and only reaching the tops of 2 or 3 tech trees, yes, the grind is very fast, especially if you like geology. Next, we have Icy31. Bring full ammo on your tanks and full fuel on your aircraft. Also, don't bother respawning after dying once, just leave immediately. 3 great pieces of advice here by Icy31. Bringing full ammo means that you can fire as many times as you want during a fight. Bring full fuel on your aircraft means that you can fly from Zimbabwe all the way up to, well, really wherever you want in the world, so it's great to have full fuel. Definitely will not impact your flight performance. And if you just die once, who cares? Just leave the game. Totally serious. Next, we have Dumby saying, "Always turn fight Japanese planes, especially if you're using American planes. Japanese planes like the Zero and KI-43 turn like my 102-year-old grandmother." Of course, definitely good advice. I suppose it depends on what your grandmother's turning in, but, you know, of course, that is definitely good advice, especially if you're flying a P-47 versus a standard Japanese plane. Next, we have noobslayer 3007, one of the best usernames thus far. Tiger 1 is the best tank of the game. Nothing can kill you head on. I'll suggest you to rush it first. So yes, that said, unironically, I actually really love the Tiger 1, and it is one of my favorite tanks in game. But one thing that you see is a lot of noobs getting into this thing, and they believe in the myth of the Tiger that it's impenetrable from the front. They don't care about angling. If you want, unironically, check out my angling guide. I should try to link that down below. And I also have a Tiger 1 guide linked below, again, hopefully. But yes, the Tiger 1 is actually a very good tank but most people make it so bad because they stink in it so bad because they have no idea how to use it, because they believe these myths of World War II that it was impervious to everything. So just play it as you feel like it should be played and don't believe all the hype. Jokes aside. Next up, we have Desert Wanderer. Always rush, don't angle. Of course, that's the quickest way to secure victory. Great advice from Desert Wanderer. Next, we have Tankerbricks. This is a friend of the channel, Tankerbricks. Thank you for submitting this. Sell your soul to the snail. Quick and to the point, of course. Every single time that a sale comes around, you sell your soul to the snail. You buy even $1 worth of GE. And when I say $1 worth of GE, it's not necessarily worth $1, it's just what they're selling it to you for. You're definitely going to be selling your soul to the snail, and you're making a good case for good karma in that instance. Next up, we have the Prudentialist. Commit to the head-on. Unironically, I used to do this quite a bit, and actually I got so good at it that I get a lot of my kills through head-ons because I commit to them when other people do not, because I've kind of learned various tactics to actually succeed and then simultaneously dodge things. But for most people, unironically, this is a very, very bad thing because most people are not going to have like 10 years of head-on experience like I do. So yes, commit to the head-on if you want bad advice, but good advice, try to not. Now we have Biohazard Industries WR. Stand near a bomb. Yes, this way you'll be propelled forward at such speeds that you will always land behind the enemy lines, especially if you're standing right next to a PE-8 bomb. You'll be thrown forward, and you'll inevitably land in a cap point, which will mean that your team will win, so definitely always stand near the bomb. Next, we have Brackman. Missiles are always your friend. It's not like they can hit allies or anything. Oh my god. Oh god. 2 days ago, and I actually got a video about this in a few days, but 2 days ago I was actually playing top tier, and 2 out of my 3 matches I got killed because people on my team decided to shoot missiles at people that I was shooting at, and then they hit me. So, jokes aside, this is awful advice. You always want to be very selective with your missiles, but because this is a bad advice video, great advice, Brackman. And now we're on the last 2, and from Jun Yutan says, download War Thunder. This is among the best, worst advice of any of the pieces of advice that I've given thus far. Again, because I know I'm going to get comments about this as much as I'm joking throughout this video. These are bad advice things. Remember that 100%. Don't take this advice, although War Thunder is very fun, but, you know, of course, that's hopefully at least a joke. And then finally, don't listen to War Thunder content creators by Big Mama's Chug House. It's got the best username for last. Big Mama's Chug House. Don't listen to War Thunder content creators. Definitely don't listen to us, especially the ones who have been around for a very, very long time. Ash, European Canadian, Tankenstein. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of others. I'm sure Oddboss has been playing for quite a while. Don't listen to any of us because we don't know what we're talking about. But seriously, thanks so much, guys. You know, this video was a ton of fun to make, and I couldn't have made it without you guys. So, I mean, just all of your great input, even though it was obviously supposed to be, in a way, a joking video, it really, if you want, you could also look at this as a good advice video because, hey, do the exact opposite of everything in this, except for the download War Thunder, of course, because if you don't download War Thunder, then the rest of this video is for naught. Either way, again, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I always like to come out with weird and interesting videos. But, yeah, you know, thank you so much, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.